Hi, and welcome back to part 3 of our mini series titled, Are You Ready to Start a Home Care Agency? If you're here, it tells me something important. You're serious about this. You're not casually researching, you are not dabbling, you are actually evaluating your readiness to step into ownership, leadership, responsibility, and purpose. And I want to acknowledge that because it takes courage to look at yourself, your life, your resources, your habits, and your capacity and ask, am I truly ready? So take a moment, pause, recognize that you are already doing something most people never do. You are preparing, you're doing your homework. In part 1, we looked at your personal readiness, your identity, your mindset, your emotional resilience, your time, your lifestyle. And we ask if you just want the idea of a home care agency or you are really ready for the reality of one. In part 2, we moved into business readiness. We talked about systems, staffing, cash flow, your market fit, and service quality. And then we asked this question: once the excitement fades, do you have the structure to keep the agency stable? Now, in part 3, we are taking the next step. We're going to be talking about execution readiness. This is where many aspiring home care owners get stuck. This is where many aspiring owners get stuck, not because they don't care, not because they don't have the heart, compassion, not because they don't believe in their mission, but because execution takes discipline. It takes structure, consistency, and follow through. So today we're going to look at execution readiness. Questions that will tell you if you are really prepared to start. First, do you have dedicated time to work on this business? Ask yourself that question. Do I have dedicated time to work on my business? It's not a matter of I'll fit it in later, or not when I have free time, or not after I finish everything else. Let's be honest. No one magically finds time. You make time for what matters. Building a home care agency will require time, energy, focus, learning, administrating, communicating, following up, thinking strategically. It cannot happen in the leftover hours of your week. So ask yourself, when specifically will I work on my business? Is it early in the morning before everyone wakes up? Is it in the evenings when the kids are in bed? Or is it 2 hours every day? And here's something important. You don't need 5 hours a day. You don't need a full-time schedule to start, but you do need consistency. Even a few focused hours per day will move your business forward if done consistently. So the key word here is consistency. You may want to write this down. Consistency beats intensity. If you can show up regularly, even in small blocks, small chunks, as long as you're consistent, you'll be moving forward. So, do you have a start date? Not a launch date, not your grand opening, not the day you get your first client. No. Do you have a start execution date? The day you begin to work on your business. Like I said, not your grand opening day. The day you decide and say, okay, this date, I'm going to start working on my business. Do you have that? You see, this is why it's so important to start to set that date, because your brain does not commit to dreams. It commits to time frames. When there is no date, everything stays in the I'll get it done later or I'll get to it soon, right? But when you pick a date, your thought process changes, your language changes, your mindset, your thinking, everything changes. You start processing differently. It's exciting. But if you haven't chosen a date yet, don't worry. But I'll suggest you do so as soon as you can. Set that date. Set the date when you start working seriously on your business, because that gets your brain thinking differently. That gets you excited. That gets you started. In fact, if you haven't set your execution date, I'll suggest you don't move past this stage until you set one. And once you choose a date, say it out loud, say it with excitement. This is when I begin. Let that settle in. You might think it's just a date, but a date is a declaration. You've put it out there in the universe. This is the date I'm going to get started. Next, ask yourself, are you willing to follow a structured plan, step by step? This is where our 30-day quick start framework comes in. Our quick start guide is designed to take the overwhelm out, to remove the confusion, to prevent you from spinning in circles. You don't need to create your own sequence. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to wait until you know every answer. No. Following a proven plan is what speeds up success. But here's the truth. The plan alone will not work. It only works when you put in action to make that plan work, right? Yeah. The plan only works if you walk the plan. If you're someone who starts excited but doesn't finish, gets overwhelmed and stops, skips steps because they feel uncomfortable, then we have to strengthen your execution habits. And that's not a weakness, it's just a growth area. Think of it as a muscle you can build. Success is not about who works the hardest. Success belongs to the one who is consistent. Small steps repeated daily, they create breakthroughs. If you can commit to showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it, you are ready to execute. All right, moving right along. Do you have the emotional resilience for the first 30 days or maybe 90 days? The first month of launching anything is really exciting once you launch. There are forms you need to complete, phone calls, compliance steps, onboarding, outreach, which may feel awkward at first, emails that you don't get the time to respond to. Then you begin to doubt yourself. Moments when you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm really behind. Don't worry. All that is normal. You are building something real. This is not a hobby. This is a service that impacts families, it impacts lives, and yours too. Confidence does not show up before you start. Confidence comes from starting. Confidence comes from doing, from learning, from showing up, from completing things you once felt unsure about, right? You will not always feel motivated, but you can learn to be committed. Motivation comes and goes. Commitment builds momentum. If you can remain committed through those uncomfortable first weeks, first months, then you're ready. Next, are you ready to step in as a caregiver when needed? This is the part people rarely talk about, but it's real. In the beginning, before your staffing pool is strong, before your systems are fully automated, there will be those moments when your caregivers will call out, when you don't have a backup and the client still needs care. And in that moment, your reputation is on the line. And it's not just your reputation, in fact. You have a client depending on you to maybe get out of bed that day, to fix their breakfast, or to remind them to take their medications. I'll tell you this truth. Many times in the early years, we had to step in, and that was a blessing in so many ways. When we just started, we had this client. He was a paraplegic. He became paraplegic from a swimming accident. He was one of our very few Medicaid clients. Medicaid could not cover all his care needs. So volunteers from his church had to step in. But on those days, especially the major holidays when no one was available, even our caregivers didn't want to go. Guess who went? You guessed that right. We had to go. Then it wasn't just a reputation. We had a life. We had a human being who needed us. We had to show up. We had to get him out of bed. We had to help him with his daily routine. We had to feed him. We had to make sure he took his medication. We had to do everything for him. Are you ready to do that? It's not just because you are a caregiver. No. It's not just because it's your reputation. No. It's because there's someone on the other end, on that phone call, saying, my caregiver is not here, saying, I have to go to work. I don't have a caregiver to stay with mom or to stay with dad. Are you ready to step in if you cannot find one of your caregivers to step in for you? And whenever we went to help this gentleman, we were blessed. Yeah, we were really blessed because he never forgot to thank us, to pray for us. Did we want to do this all the time? No. It's not because we wanted to. It's not because we were caregivers. No. It was because our clients mattered. Yeah, we didn't want to do this all the time, but we had to because our clients. This is where that compassion, that heart comes in. Our integrity matters. Our promise to our clients and their families mattered. This doesn't make you less of a CEO. It makes you a CEO with credibility. People follow leaders who are willing to serve. So ask yourself, if there's no caregiver available, can I step in with humility, with care, with compassion? Even if it's just to ensure the client is safe and not alone. If the answer is yes, then you are ready. Next, let's talk about accountability and support. Do you have accountability? No one builds a home care agency alone, not successfully, not sustainably though. When you have someone like an accountability partner, you stay focused, you stay grounded, you move faster. When you do this alone, life gets in the way. Fear and doubts get louder with every little challenge. And then guess what? Momentum slows. So you need guidance, you need encouragement, you need answers, you need a community, you need mentorship. You need that from someone who has been where you are going. So ask yourself, who is walking with you on this journey? If the answer is no one yet, that's the next piece to secure. And we'll be glad to welcome you into our community. All right? Okay, next, are you willing to be seen? This question may sound strange, but you'll be surprised how many people get into this business, but they don't want to put themselves out there, so to say. Your business becomes real the moment you open your mouth and tell someone, I own a home care agency. It doesn't matter if you're still starting, you're growing. It doesn't matter if you're still learning. It doesn't matter if your website isn't perfect yet. Visibility is not about being perfect or loud. It's about showing up in your community. It's about being known in your community. It's about being heard in your community. Are you willing to join your local chamber of commerce? Are you willing to join those networking events? Are you willing to do in-services in facilities? Are you willing to do the marketing? Are you willing to do some cold calling? Are you willing to do all of that? Some people don't want to. Now, just because you don't want to doesn't mean you are not ready. Don't get me wrong. But you have to realize sooner or later, you're going to need to put yourself out there. You're going to need to be the face of your company somehow. You need to feel comfortable with that. So being seen is about showing up in your community. It's about marketing your business. It's about being available to those who need you. In fact, someone in your community is searching for home care right now, but are they able to find you? They may not be able to find you because you're hiding, so to say, behind administrative work all day, right? Courage doesn't mean you feel ready. It means I'll show up even before I do. If you can do that, you are ready. So now take a deep breath. You have evaluated your heart, your structure, and your execution. This is real readiness. And if you identified areas to strengthen, good. That means you are being thoughtful. You're being serious about this. Awareness is the beginning of wisdom, as they say. Your next step is simple. Take the home care readiness quiz to see your personalized score and identify your next step. And when you're ready to build with support, visit askjohnandpaul.com to schedule your free 30-minute strategy call. We'll talk with you, we'll guide you, we'll help you start. And not only start, but start strong and stay strong because your calling is real and someone is waiting for the care that only you can provide. All right, see you next time.